Now, I did want to talk about a couple things. There was actually a couple of app examples, right? We talked about a gallery. Magesh walked you through a few different examples. I want to talk about a fun one here. There was a developer at Splunk. He's out of California, but he lives in Shanghai. And he built this app. He called it Say What? That's the name of the app. I'm sure. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but it's just called Say What. How many of you here have been on conference calls at odd hours of the day? Times when you don't really want to focus on the call. You're trying to get stuff done, but you really have to be on the call. Our friend had to do that too. Because he was in Shanghai, I'm sure you have this problem too. You're doing calls with people around the world. Things happen, late in the evening. You're trying to get home. You're trying to beat the traffic. And you have to do these calls. You're stuck on it. Or you're at home. You're multitasking, et cetera. So our friend had to do the same. And guess what he did? He built an app. And what did this app do? It's a script, right? He built a Python script, which essentially was listening to these conference calls for him while he was doing some other things. OK? Keep paying attention. It gets interesting. So it listens to these conference calls, and it triggers an alert when his name gets called. It's fun, right? So then what happens? It doesn't end there. Then he uses the Watson speech-to-text API to quickly transcribe the last 30 seconds before his name was called and a few seconds after his name was called. So he knows what the heck was going on there. Very smart. And he also had an audio recording. Soon after his name was called, it starts playing for about 15 seconds, I think, saying, I'm sorry, I was on mute, et cetera, right? Just kind of, we all say that. And in that time, he actually looks up the transcript, the speech-to-text transcript, which, as we saw earlier, is pretty accurate, right? We're at about 6.9% accuracy now. Word error rate is at about 6.9%. So it's pretty good. He looks at that, and then he gets in and he responds to the question or addresses whatever was the topic. Pretty slick, huh? I wish I could use that. That is inspiring. That's fun. That's something that we all face, right? We all wish we had stuff like that. Well, guess what? It's pretty easy now to build these kinds of applications. There's another professor in Georgia, Georgia Tech University, who actually built an app that would respond to his students' emails. And the students did not know that it was an app responding to it. He used Watson to do that. Right? I'm sure you read about that. But it's pretty interesting. So it all comes out of personal need. And what we're really saying here, the message here I want you to take away, is that with these Watson services, the science has advanced quite a bit. We've put in a lot of work to build these APIs, to build these services in a way that is simple for you to consume. We provide these APIs in a way that it allows you to keep your data, to train your data on your own, to adapt to your domains, and then publish these back in the gallery and collaborate with your colleagues. It's great, right? On a more serious note, we actually had a hackathon in Bangalore about 6 months ago or so. And people built apps over 3 days. I don't know if some of you were actually present there. But there was a team that came out, the team that actually won that hackathon, built an app, and this was in December, right after the floods that occurred in Chennai. But what they built was an app that would help and rescue people who were stuck in those floods, right? So it was really about trying to apply Watson services, not just to fun things, but really to some serious problems that we all face today. And applying all of these, not just for us as consumers, but for people like Shalini in the enterprises. In this case, in a business insurance company, in an insurance company. But in the same vein, for you, if you're working in the financial technology, automotive, retail, aerospace, manufacturing, you name it. Media and entertainment could be applied in a lot of different scenarios. There are two things I think that are important. One, if there is a lot of data, it's very likely you could apply cognitive technologies to that. And number two, if you have interactions with people, there are services that allow you to understand not just what is being said, but how it's being said, and really apply that. Those are really the two ways that I would analyze all of the things that we heard in the last hour and simplify that and say that's what I would expect you to do, or that's what I would really like you to do. So again, I hope you really are inspired to go back and think about a personal challenge that you all have. Don't forget the thing you love and the images part that I said, but also think about where you can apply these into an app that would really either benefit you, give you a laugh, or help your companies or your clients. Thank you very much. And now we're